Okay, let me try. Oh, you're making my eyeballs all big.
Hey guys, so we are going to probably do the most intimate question and answering that I personally have ever done, and definitely we've ever done ever. Oh, here comes Marley. Do you hear?
Whenever we try and do like these sit-down filming situations, we always try and prevent as much noise as possible, outside noise, but having 3 dogs.
Impossible. Oh, you know what we should do?
What should we do?
Answer these questions.
Okay. You're dumb.
Marley, come on.
Actually, so loud. But I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of, you know, jump right into them. Sorry, Charles. Is that where they're trying to take off the noisemaker, which is the AKA collars. So Charles and I have been having this conversation recently about, I don't know, kind of getting on a deeper level with you guys. I don't know, we haven't done one of these in a long time.
We haven't done one of these in a very long time.
Yeah.
So we asked you guys on Twitter and our Facebook page, and we have a lot of questions. Has vlogging ever affected your personal relationships? I would have to say it has in the past. I've learned from my past relationships online, we've kind of come to an understanding of what we should do online, like share online, and what we should keep personal.
Which I think is something that you did do in the past as well.
It's a struggle. That is probably, I think every vlogger has said this, coming out and saying things about their personal relationships. Vlogging and just doing things online in general as a relationship or a couple is very, very difficult because you're doing a double like not battle, but you're juggling multiple things.
I don't think it's always a negative thing. Like, I don't think it always affects your relationship in a negative way.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
So I think the good thing about vlogging makes you focus on keeping what you put out there positive, which I think is really important.
It's definitely a juggle, and I think Allie and I have finally found our balance.
Have you ever watched many of the old vlogs from before you started dating Charles? How did you feel about it? I never watched any of the vlogs. I didn't even know this whole vlogging situation with him existed. The only time I have ever seen a vlog from your past has been something that he's shown me personally.
Yeah, the flashbacks that you guys get to see in black and white. I'm always like, could you look up this video and search it, and you know, one of you guys help us find it. That's usually where she gets to see the vlogs from the past, just because there's so many. There's like 3,000 of them now.
And it's not even that seeing vlogs from the past would bother me. I just haven't. I don't know. I haven't watched them. There was one that I thought was really, really awesome, which was the one when you did like the slip and slide.
Oh, the giant. That was actually the end of year 1.
I thought that was like a really cool one. I remember you showing me that one, and then or when you did the brain surgery.
That's a given.
But I mean, honestly, not really. Do you guys support the legalization of weed?
Okay, so this one is going to be a very, I hope not too controversial in the year 2016. The answer for me, 125,000%. It's not even a real fraction, but yes. You guys have seen me at my absolute worst. The fact that I don't eat, my prescription will knock me out worse than anything ever. I don't like that, and if there's something that comes from the ground that's not chemically made in a really lab,
harmful to your body.
Yeah, I think Dilantin could actually make me go through liver failure. So that scares me. Vimpat can make me hallucinate and have I think I was with Shay and his family.
I was with you.
And you. And we were out to eat, and they prescribed me too much Vimpat, and I had a reaction to where I almost OD'd on.
It was awful. We were at dinner and he turned at me and he goes, I really don't feel right. And Charles can joke around about stuff and like he puts on a front a lot, but when this situation happened, it was terrifying. It really took a toll on his body. And you know, I know a lot of people that have children that have awful childhood diseases, and the only thing that helps these children are, you know, this form of marijuana that helps them, helps their body, calms their mind. It really genuinely helps them. So do I support it? Yes.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm sorry if there are some people out there that disagree. Everyone has their opinions, but in my life, I've experienced seizures after seizures after seizures. I feel like anyone else that says that somebody else can't do something has no right, unless you are going through them yourself. Things like this have gotten lumped in over the years. I've grown up with the DARE program. And as a kid, I was growing up with marijuana being lumped with heroin, cocaine, you know.
It's not the same.
All these things. And I felt like growing up that marijuana was heroin. And as I grew up, I read, I figured these things out myself because as a kid I was misinformed. And I think that's a terrible, terrible way to grow up.
Do your research, guys.
Do research. This isn't me saying go out and smoke marijuana or anything like this. This is me saying legalization for medical use. 100%. Yes, 100%.
Just do your research and you guys make your own decision on what you feel is best. I mean, we've done a lot of research in the past couple of years, especially with this situation, and
I'm gonna say yes. I do. A long-winded yes. Have you and Allie picked a honeymoon location? Where would your ideal honeymoon be? I want to go to Bora Bora.
I have something like totally different in mind.
Allie, yeah, she wants to go.
This
what was it, like backpacking?
So I do want to go to Ireland, but
Ireland is our shared
yeah, like I think that would be really cool to go to. I would love to go somewhere and like do like a backpacking trip for like 2 weeks, where we would go from one destination to the next. So it was more of like an adventure / honeymoon.
She's gonna have to wear a backpack full of Wi-Fi basically if we do that one.
I know. What is the very first thing you two noticed about each other that attracted you to one another?
For me, Allie's smile was the first thing that that smile was actually the first thing that attracted me to her. I just thought she has a beautiful smile. Even though she says she doesn't think she does, I still think it. What about me?
I just thought you were so funny, like weird funny, not necessarily humorous funny, but he was kind of weird, and it was so comfortable because he was so weird. I was like, wow, this guy just doesn't care, and I like respect that in a weird way. Weird, yeah. I'm using weird a lot. You were very like full of life, and I really appreciated that. You were handsome too. Like, don't get me wrong.
I was just gonna say. Oh wait, what about the handsomeness?
What I'm saying though, like.
No, I get it. I get it.
It's something. There's something so like remarkable about meeting someone that can make you feel like so at ease when you first meet them.
Any new shows you guys have been watching recently?
Designated Survivors.
Oh yeah, Designated Survivors, awesome, with Kiefer Sutherland.
So good, yeah. We've been watching Speechless though, and that's such a good show.
I love that show.
We definitely recommend that. It's only on, I think, like the 3rd or 4th episode.
Yeah, it just started.
And then Designated Survivor is
it's amazing. I love it. Good. I feel like that's a sponsor for that movie, right? That TV show.
Oh my god, I love it.
Our thing is the new girl. Why do you do the hoo part? It's like Goofy.
I feel like it's like releasing something deep within me.
Who is the most silliest off camera? It's definitely Allie. Yeah. You guys don't get to see even a third of how weird she is off camera.
Allie, is it ever difficult for you to see old CTFXC vlogs of Charles, specifically from his previous marriage? No, it's not, because it's part of his life, and I don't know, like I don't think I've ever been one of those people who, in a relationship, do I get upset about my significant other's past. I just don't. I understand. Everyone has past. Everyone has, relationships previous to the one that they're in currently most of the time. And it doesn't upset me because
I feel like the only thing that should matter is your relationship.
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't.
Past is past type of thing.
And I think that if people do have issues with past relationships, it's got to be tough. I can't imagine. I really can't imagine personally, but you can't move forward if you do that. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. You can't move forward. You constantly get stuck in the past, and there's no progression. But no, there's no reason for me to be upset about it because it was a good, wonderful time in his life, and I can't change it. You can't change it. And like I said, it never has bothered me. What was one thing that one wanted for the wedding that the other didn't? I don't think really there was one thing that she wanted that I didn't really want. I think if anything, like she would say something that she wanted for the wedding. If I did want something differently, I would suggest it, and we usually come to like a cool works. Yeah, the whole like. Did we ever tell them about the whole food truck thing? Yeah, we did. It came from an idea, I think from you guys with a meme. Somebody sent me a meme of a bride getting like a piece of pizza off a buffet in a wedding dress. And I sent to Allie, I was like, hey, we should do this. I literally sent it to her as a joke, a complete joke. And she's like, that's a great idea. And I'm like, oh, okay. We've been on the same page though the entire time with the wedding stuff. Allie West, did you travel as much as you do now before dating Charles? Dating Charles, I have had the opportunity to travel to a lot of places I've never been to before, and I'm like so thankful. I'm a nomad. And I have a totally different career. No, I don't have a totally different career. I have my career that I'm in is becoming more lucrative. So I now have the means to travel more than I did before. But I did work in an actual office building, which required me to be there Monday through Saturday, sometimes 50+ hours a week. So it was harder, but I still did it. Do I travel more? I do. I have the luxury of working from home. A lot of my work is based off of the computer, emails, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So I get the luxury of kind of being more mobile than I did previous. You know, in a job, when you get promoted or if you get a new job and you make more money, you now have the means to do more travel too.
I mean, it makes total sense.
And I think that that's like the biggest thing is I'm more successful in the past year than I have been in a while because I'm saving money and I'm, you know, I have...
Plus she has no choice. I'm gonna drag her every time I go on tour. I can't not go without her, so. I drag the dogs too if I possibly could.
But it's not just that. I did travel, but I didn't fly a lot. I drove a lot.
She's still
terrified. I drove a lot.
How do you decide what to vlog and what not to vlog? What to disclose and what not to disclose? And this is probably one of the hardest things to do as a vlogger. This is not just for me personally, this is for vlogging, I think, across the board, because it is a struggle sorry, Zoe right now is kind of going crazy. It is a struggle constantly. And because you want to be completely open with everything, but at the same time you want to have your personal life. And you want to have that connection, but you also want to have that separation. So it's kind of like every day, every new thing is you work
it's a
on
learning experience.
Yeah, like every time that event or that experience happens, you kind of step back for a second as you're editing and be like, should we put this in there? Should we just keep this, you know, for us? So it's kind of like...
You can ask any vlogger that. I feel like
constantly.
Every time we've gone to a YouTube event and there's been panels and that question gets asked probably the most frequently.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's very true.
How do you know what to film and what not to film, what to keep to yourselves? And I think that everybody, that's a learning experience and that's personal preference. We don't want to film when we're angry at each other. Are we angry at each other? A lot, yeah, we are. Planning a wedding is very frustrating. But that's another thing that I say, hey, I don't want them to see when we're fighting and I don't want them to know that we're upset with each other. So it's not that we're lying, it's just more like...
The best way to answer that question would literally be take a camera, film for a day, and edit it down and be like, oh, okay, yeah. I get it now. Yeah. That literally would be the easiest way to get that answer. That's what I would suggest.
I agree.
Y'all relationship reminds me a lot of my husband and I's. How do y'all... She said y'all again. I love it. How do y'all deal with one another when you're genuinely annoyed or angry with each other? I think we're totally different people when that kind of happens. Allie's more of a person that wants to solve it immediately, and I'm more of a person that like wants to step back and let things cool down and then talk about it. And I think that's something we've been like working on together. It's kind of like coming to a middle ground.
It depends on the situation, because there's sometimes where we'll have a disagreement.
We'll figure it out right away.
And yeah, we'll either figure it out right away and apologize, or it'll be a situation where we do both have to like separate from one another, where I'll either go for a walk or go to the gym. Doing something like that makes me feel so much better. And then it kind of like clears my head in a weird way.
I think it literally is just a normal relationship type of thing.
There's no special, like there's sometimes when we get into like crazy fights and we're like, and say like the meanest, craziest things, and then turn around and we say that we're sorry.
Yeah. Usually we gauge it, like if the dogs are like running away from us, we're like, okay, we should probably figure, we gotta cool down. Yeah. That's usually...
That's actually a really good, yeah.
We really do. Honestly, if we see the dogs running away from us, Marley scoots under the bed, Zoe's in a shower or something like that, Diesel's hidden in a toilet or something like that.
Toilet, not in a toilet.
He hides in the toilet. When we see that kind of stuff, we kind of realize, okay, we
need to cool off.
We're probably being a little ridiculous.
When was your last relationship before Charles? How long was it? And how did it end? We're all so easy to judge because we've seen Charles' life for so many years, but what is your relationship background? How did you find out you wanted to do vlogs and YouTube full-time rather than the job you were pursuing prior?
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Last relationship where I had a boyfriend was years before I met Charles. We were together for almost 5 years, and it didn't end well. I really don't want to go into too many details because I don't want negativity to be shined on this person, but it ended bad. He didn't treat me very well. It was kind of verbally very unkind to me and was very disrespectful as a boyfriend. It ended a long time before it actually, like, the cords were cut, you know, when we said we were broken up. It sucked because you get into a relationship and you're very hopeful that it works out, and you know, there's a lot of positivity in that relationship, but we did not work out. We were very incompatible, as I came to find out. it makes me sad, honestly, thinking about how it ended, because you never want a relationship where there was love to end so bad. I wasn't treated right in a monogamous relationship.
That makes sense.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. Your next question though, I still have, you know, a job that I'm pursuing, but I am doing YouTube a lot. I don't know, I fell in love with it. Do I want to do YouTube like as a full-time career? No, not really. I have other dreams and aspirations that I'm looking forward to presenting to the world soon.
Tell us the real truth about the divorce, man. You asked us all to become part of a family, and we did. After all those years together, why did it end so badly between you two? And to this one, guys, I honestly, I'm a little bummed that this is a question still, because I told you the real truth, and the real truth has been told time and time again, and I don't know what else I could possibly say, or what you guys want to hear from me. When I read this everywhere, honest, this question kills me, guys. It really, really does. I've said nothing but the truth over and over, and I don't know what else I could possibly say that would answer this any better. We were very good for each other at the time in our life, but as we progressed, as we grew up, you know, we kind of grew apart, and we just kind of had to make a decision for our sanity, for ourselves, for one another. We always chose to show the positive natures in our vlogs, and that was just a thing that we decided to do. We honestly we tried very hard, and it just came down to the end of the day, we were just growing apart. We were going different ways with our life. The simple and honest truth about what happened in my previous marriage. This isn't TMZ. This isn't, you know, extra or anything like this. This is real life. I'll be the first to admit, after the divorce, there were a million mistakes that I've said publicly that I should never have said, and I'm ashamed of myself, and I've apologized as much as I possibly can. It was childish. It was immature. It was irrational. It was just me going out of frustration and anger. And I can only hope that one day, I don't want to say I want to put this behind me, because I don't want to put this behind me. I want my relationship and my marriage to always be a part of myself, of her, of you guys. The videos aren't going, I will never take those videos down. They will always stay up there, just because I feel like those are memories that I will always cherish, because I don't want to forget them. They, you know, included somebody that's no longer in my life, and that could be awkward in somebody's eyes, but it's not mine. I feel like you should cherish those memories, and that's the truth. That's the truth. That's honestly the truth. There's nothing more than that. And I know an apology just can't make things better, just like, you know, that or anything like that. It takes time, and I just truly hope over time that we all can move past this, that relationships can be mended and friendships can be mended.
Britton, I remember meeting her. Any honest opinions on how you feel about Vlogumentary being released soon? Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I want to see you first. Are you nervous or excited?
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everybody involved in Vlogumentary, because I watched it obviously when I went to New York with him, and I have like, why I'm in there, I have no idea, to be completely honest. It was a little nerve-wracking watching it, but it was so beautifully done, and it was very enlightening, and it was heartwarming, and then it was like, it really like penetrates your soul, and it makes you realize that these are real people, and they have a real life, and this is a real job, and it's really difficult, and you know, people go through these hardships. Right. So I am excited for everyone that was involved in it, that had major parts in it. I think it's really amazing. I'm
incredibly excited to see the final product, because it's like, what, 2 or 3 years now in the making. I am not so much nervous, because there are a lot of intimate parts in the video or in the movie that, you know, revolved around my life 3 years ago, and it's kind of hard to, it's not really reliving it, but you are in a sense of resharing it. if that makes any sense. So it's kind of nerve-wracking.
Kind of opening up old it's not wounds.
It's not a wound.
It's not a wound, but it's like
memories.
Yeah.
Like
a box that you close, you're opening it back up.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, exactly.
Looking at
it's
old
like
photo kind of thing.
A little nerve-wracking to kind of see that again. Most of all, I'm just incredibly excited that finally this project, this idea that Shay and Corey had, is finally becoming an actual thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really amazing thing. So I'm not nervous, I'm not scared, or I'm not anything like that. I'm just super pumped.
This one comes from Reagan, and
which is, ironically enough, is a cool name.
Is a very cool name. Reagan asks, if you plan on having children, have you talked about names already? If so, what are some names that you have in mind?
We actually have a short list of names that we've come up with. Unfortunately, we're not going to tell you.
I don't want to give them away.
I
know it's so screwed up. I know it's so screwed up.
It's just
but
like
there are
dangling
boys
the
and
carrot.
girls' names. Okay, maybe I can say one.
No, I don't want to say any. No, it's going to be a surprise.
Apple bottom jeans.
It's one of them. How does Allie feel about being the third Allie in your life? In my life.
This is, I feel like, a ongoing thing. It's just a name. I mean, to be completely honest, it is just a name. And if everyone had a different name in the world, I would be blown away.
Yeah,
and
sure.
the odds of you meeting another person that has the same name as you is very high. And it doesn't bother me, it's just a name. I think it's a funny coincidence.
It's a huge
I mean, I'm not
coincidence.
gonna lie, I think it's a pretty humorous coincidence, but it's just a name.
It is a huge coincidence that they are back to back to back. I will give that. But it's mainly how you feel about it.
It doesn't bother me. If it bothered me, I'd be really honest, why would I be dating him?
That's true. That's a good point. It's directed towards me. Does it feel weird for me going through a second marriage, or does it feel like it stands out on its own? And I'll be completely honest with this one. I don't want to say it's weird, because it's not weird, but in the sense of having to go through that process again, it's weird, but it stands out on its own completely, because I love Allie to death, and she's a amazing person. She makes me laugh. She takes care of me. She loves my family, and my family loves her. So it stands out on its own in the sense that she's a completely different person. That's Diesel. He agrees too. Marriage is obviously a more serious situation of a relationship. But just think like if you were breaking up with somebody and starting a new relationship. At first, it's always not weird, but it's awkward.
You do kind of compare this new relationship to, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
it's
to
fine.
your past relationship. I think I did it with him too, even though my last relationship was a while before him. But you compare a little bit, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Does it say one is better than the other?
Absolutely not.
No, there's differences
They're
that
different.
made each so special.
Yeah.
So
My previous marriage was special on its own, and I cherish the memories for that. I've learned a lot, so I'm taking the things that I've learned from that marriage and I'm moving it on to my second marriage. And it's just like if you broke up with somebody else, you take that past relationship and things that didn't work in that relationship, and you take that onto the next relationship, so you don't do the same thing twice.
when you have a child and the child comes out to you as LGBTQ, how would you respond? And Giles and he knows how I feel about this. I don't care.
I don't care
love
either.
everyone. I will love my children for however they feel, for whatever they believe in, for whomever they fall in love with, whatever they want to do in life. I don't care. It's just,
I think
you
it's
just
stupid
want
when
your
people
children to be happy.
Yeah, it's your child. Why would you be unhappy and disappointed with your child?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's ridiculous. That's my personal opinion.
You know, one thing I know I've said this in the vlogs before, but my mom has always told me, you cannot help who you love. You cannot help how you feel. It is just you know, it's your heart, it's your mind, it's just working together. And I know that with whatever our children decides upon, whether they are lesbian, gay, bi, transsexual, whatever it is, I will love them 100%.
Support them.
Yeah.
Does daily blogging or vlogging ever feel like it's ruining your life or getting in the way of being your true self? Do you think you'll ever stop? Do you ever wonder what it would be like a day without, she's like clogging, but it's vlogging would be like? And I don't think vlogging is ruining my life at all. I think if anything, it's like Ali said, it's pushing me to do things that I wouldn't normally do. I don't think I'd ever stop. The only way I'd stop is when I'm stopping having fun. I honestly don't know what it'd be like a day without vlogging. I think I'd feel really weird. This is from Janelle. This has really bugged me for a long time. I have followed your vlog on and off for 5 years. Thank you very much, that's a long time. Does it really bother the new Allie, that us OG followers had such a hard time getting over, I'm assuming, my ex? It took some time I'm assuming that's took some time, but I grew to like her. But it was hard because it did, I'm assuming my ex did help build the CTFXC.
Well, I don't want to say that it was hard for me because that's not what it is. I was understanding of it. You know, in the beginning, I mean, it sucks when people like call you names and throw accusations at you and accuse you of awful things. I knew that there was a huge relationship that was going on there between Charles, his ex, and you guys. I mean, it was family, and you guys loved your family, and so I respect that, and I understood that. Was it hard when people said awful things about me, to me, accused me of things? Hell yes it was. It was awful. I put on a front most of the time and I acted like it didn't bother me. Deep down it ripped me apart. And to this day it still does. I'm not gonna lie, it still hurts me. Am I upset that it, you know, it's hard for people to get over it? No, because I don't think it's something that you should get over. I don't think that. I don't want you to get over their relationship. I don't want
things being forgotten.
I don't want things to ever be forgotten. I don't have a grudge. We're adults here, and I think that from Charles' side it was really hard for him, and I can imagine it was for his ex too, especially being in the public eye. I mean, I guess the whole thing is like, I wasn't upset that you guys were still really upset with me coming into his life. Did all the negative things that were said about me and the mean things that were said hurt me right to my core. It was awful. When was the first moment that you realized you were living the dream that you never dreamed of? I feel like that's a quote or something.
That's
a dream.
That's a really hard question, because anyone doing videos online right now never thought, oh, maybe they did, that they would be making a living doing videos online. The first moment I think I realized that I was doing it was when I got sent out to New York City, and I was on the TRL stage, and they wanted me...
Do they still have TRL?
No. And they wanted me to audition for a new show, which now is pretty much Tosh.0, and they flew me all first class. I remember sitting in the studio and then just looking around and I was thinking, I was like, how did I pull this off? And that was, I think, the first moment
that you realized.
And then I went home and I quit my job.
First off, not really a personal question, but have you ever considered looking into getting a world record for most world records broken? Oh, I like that.
I'm gonna actually contact them and see. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
A world record for most world records broken. This is from Kathy's World, and she asks, are you nervous about trying to have children?
Have you talked to any experts because of the medications?
We actually talked about this a couple times. I don't think we're nervous, because all the research that I've been given and from our doctor is that since I'm not on chemotherapy, I haven't been on it for almost a year, and it wasn't a full chemo. It was like a pill chemo, so it wasn't like an IV drip one. I don't think, from what they've told me, that I would have so much of an issue.
But safety reasons,
we have some in the bank.
Charles and I felt that it was important that we
do some more serious ones. What was interesting is when we asked you guys for questions, the first questions we got were like, what is your favorite Simpsons character?
You were really respectful.
Yeah, respectful. I appreciate that. And then we posted another thing saying, don't hold back, guys. Whatever you want to say. And then we got some stuff that you guys...
Bam!
We will be doing these until I die. Have a great night.
We love you guys.
Bye, guys.